Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Video Games Ahoy. My name, I should say, is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Daf Weeks.
Hello.
And fresh from his 24-hour marathon live stream, Mr. Daf Gape.
Fresh is the wrong word, hello.
How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, good.
Good,
I mean,
recovered.
Yeah, I'd say Daf Gape, I should say. How are you?
I was going to say, I
Yeah, Daf Weeks
I'm
is
fine.
fresh as a daisy. Just like, Daf Gape,
right.
how you?
Daf Gape, meanwhile.
How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, good. Got a lot of support and raised a bit of money, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But, we've just been saying now what you did is it's incredible in the fact you did it in the first place, but the fact you did it for charity as well, and you raised a sizable bit of cash as well, which wasn't there last week. So seriously,
Yeah.
well done, man. You've done a great job.
Cheers, thanks.
What was the total in the end?
The total in the end was £278.59.
And which
That's
smashed
great.
your target.
Yeah.
Smashed the target of £100, certainly.
Yeah.
Almost tripled it.
That's amazing, man. That's so good.
Nice one, man.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. We'll just talk about the podcast now to anyone listening. We are supported by a whole host of wonderful people over on Patreon, our lovely patrons. So to everyone that contributes, thank you so much. We really, really do appreciate it. And if you would like to support us, then go over to Patreon. We're Video Games Ahoy. You can throw us any bit of cash you have. Although we do have a £1, £5, and £10 target, which you get some cool stuff in those. And if you can't or don't want to, then that's totally cool. We are just grateful for you listening to the show. As well as Patreon, we have Twitter and Facebook. We're also on the YouTubes, and I think it's safe to add now, Dab in particular, though I am hoping to help out soon. We do a lot of Twitch as well. We're over on Twitch, so please make sure you check us out. Every week I'll make sure that I'll let you know when Dav is streaming, because he's been doing a lot of that. As I said, he's done a lot of that over one day, so you should definitely keep an eye on what he's doing over there. I mean, that pretty much covers the opening stuff. I think we should get back into the live stream, Dav. I think, like for you, I mean, you've been doing a lot of streaming recently anyway. How was it? First of all, how challenging was it to do 24 hours?
So it definitely came in waves, and before that, the longest we've only been streaming a month and a bit.
Yeah, not long.
Longest stream I'd done before that was 4 hours. And so it was a bit different, and I did a lot of preparation, had loads of different sort of layouts ready for it. Was experimenting with using recorded video on stream as well. That worked out pretty well. It was cool, and what was nice was that I had a lot of support from friends, but also people in the streaming community.
Yeah.
And it was just lovely to feel that support, but also regardless of the money, which is obviously technically the main thing, but for me on a personal level, for that support and for there to be people watching the stream at 4 a.m. as well as 2 p.m. and all these crazy hours. It was really, really lovely and really humbling. I got to play some cool games.
Yeah, because you guys played. Did you play Mario Kart together?
We did play Mario Kart together.
How was it? How was the Mario Kart?
I'll let Dav answer that.
It was embarrassing, mate. I love playing Mario Kart, and then suddenly I'm playing it knowing that it's being streamed, and suddenly I'm coming across as a right dude. It was embarrassing. So many, you know when the red shell hits you 50 meters before the finishing line? That was every lap.
That is, we should definitely try and do that. I think in future we should definitely do a Video Games Ahoy Mario Kart event, because
I was saying that on stream.
Yeah, man.
It was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Dev?
Yeah, it was good crack.
Also,
first time I've ever played battle mode.
Oh really?
Never played it before.
Oh, it's
Not
good.
since N64.
Oh man, that's
good.
It's such a great. I used to love the battle modes.
There are other good battle modes that we didn't play as well. There's one where cops and robbers, where it's one team against the other. You've got to once you hit them, they go into the jail, and then if you're another robber, you've got to find the jail and hit the thing to break them all out.
That's amazing.
Oh, I like that.
Do you know?
It's really cool.
And none of those were on the Wii U. That was one of the big things with the Wii U and Mario Kart 8. It was so many people complaining because there was no battle mode. Or there was a battle mode, but it was more you were just on the tracks. There was no actual. It was, which is really weird considering how. You go, like you said, go back to Mario 64, and they were classics. Some of the best part of those games. But,
I remember Mario Kart DS, the battle mode map where you're on a DS.
Yeah.
On like a massive DS. It's so good.
That does actually that sound great. But yeah, Dad, like again, seriously, well done, man. That you've done a great thing for a great cause, and we're really proud of you. And like I said, hopefully we can do some more streaming as well. I mean, it'd be great if at some point in the future we can do it again. Yeah, exactly. There we are. Exactly, perfect. So we'll move on a little bit now to one thing I found really, really interesting today. So Nintendo had a big thing the other day where they released a lot of what they've been doing, hardware and software stuff. And they said for the first 6 months, it is no surprise, but the first 6 months of this year, the UK have bought twice as many Switches as the first 6 months of last year. I mean, we know what the first 6 months of this year, we know what's been around. You can totally understand that. But at the same time, considering how many Switch shortages there's been, the fact that they've still sold double halfway point compared to last year is insane. We've had conversations like this before, but I do personally genuinely believe that the Switch will probably become the best-selling, at least console. I'm not sure if it'll beat the 140 million of, I think it was the DS. I think it's DS 140 million. I don't think it'll beat that. But the Wii of 101, I think it's going to take that. 101 million, I think it's going to take that.
I think the key is whether they keep iterating on the Switch or whether they come out with like a Switch 2, you know?
Yeah. I think if they bring out a Switch Pro, for instance, that would be interesting to see, because there would be certain games that you can only get on the Switch Pro that, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit about a game later on that I've been playing that I could easily have just played on the computer, but again, I've said this every single time. I so often, if I get the chance of buying a game on the Switch or the computer, I'll take it on the Switch, even if there's been a massive downgrade.
It's the perfect indie machine.
Yeah, it really is.
Any smaller game where you're like, oh, I could play, for instance, like The Messenger or Hollow Knight on the PC, and yes, I might get better graphics, or I can play it on the sofa and in the train and while I'm walking and move room to room. Yeah. Like, someone's like, I want to use the TV. I go, undock the Switch, good to go.
But even beyond indie as well, if you even if you take into account games from like 10 years ago, so the game I'm playing, and I'll talk about a little bit later on, is BioShock Infinite. And it looks like the game that I played 10 years, in 2013, I should say. It's a last gen game, and I know I'm playing it on a current gen console. But at the same time, to me, it makes no sense. If I'm going to buy a game from last generation, I might as well buy it on the Switch, because there's only so much better it will look unless it's completely overhauled. But I just thought that was really interesting. I thought, I mean, it's always been a thing with the UK. It seems like mainland Europe has always enjoyed playing Nintendo way more than the UK. UK has always been PS4 and Xbox, more PS4. But Nintendo's they've done a great job with the Switch, and I just think that's really cool. Double halfway point compared to last year. Let's move on, because we've got loads of news today, loads of stuff I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about is again, relating to the Switch, but a specific game that's coming out. That's Paper Mario the Origami King. It's going to have a seamless open world. Now, I only found that out yesterday, and I was like, whoa, no.
Hello.
I did not know that, and that intrigues me a lot. I've never played a Paper Mario game, which is a disgrace on my part. And so I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Just that's it. I'm done. But it's going to seem everything I've seen, because I know everyone's previously complained about the battle system. Everything I've seen so far, it looks really fun. It does look really fun, and with an open world as well, huge maps apparently. I don't know. I said before, it's coming out the same day as Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't know where I'm going to go. But at this point, I feel like I'm going to go Origami King. I think.
All right.
But yeah, how about you guys? Are you gonna get it? Not
Paper
interested?
Mario, I'm definitely getting it. Yeah.
I mean, I've
hopefully
been
day one,
bit...
but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I've not been a big fan of like the recent ones, like the Super Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Didn't do it for me. But like the original Paper Mario, I loved. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And the battle system in that was great, and
Zach was telling me earlier that Thousand Year Door was amazing.
Thousand Year Door on the GameCube.
Yeah, I never played it again, but he's told me numerous times just buy it for your Wii, because I know it's on the GameCube playing the Wii. Buy it for your Wii and just play it, because it's just charm coming out of its butt. Yeah. So yeah, Paper Mario Origami King. sounds like it's going to win over a few people with that. Next thing we should move on to is a Microsoft thing. And the Microsoft is going to be holding a showcase on July 23rd, I believe. It's definitely coming up in the next 23rd, okay. Yeah. Definitely going to be the week of July the 20th. So on that week, there's going to be an event. We think it's currently planned for July 23rd. They're going to be showing mostly first-party games, but there will be some third-party games as well. We'll probably stream that, I imagine.
Oh, they are doing a couple of third parties in there,
I think so. There will be a few additional third-party titles. At least that's what I've read. So yeah, I'm really excited for that because I mean, as maybe overly long the PS5 event was, there were a lot of titles in there that I was really excited about. So I really want to see what Microsoft has to offer. Yeah,
it should be cool. After they kind of fluffed it a bit with their May event, and then somehow had weird mixed messaging where they were saying, "Oh, with our new 2020 thing, we're going to be doing an event every month." And then didn't do one for June. And they're like, no, we meant starting in July. I was like, well, don't do an event in May then.
Yeah.
Why not do your May event in June?
Yeah. Because it was towards the end of May as well, wasn't it? It wasn't...
I feel like it was, yeah.
It didn't feel like...
May 23rd-ish, maybe.
Yeah, it was quite... Yeah, it was quite late. I think it was like around that time. So they could have just waited a week.
Just do it June 1st, and then there's no qualms. But yeah, interesting. And they were doing so well with their messaging as well until that apparent gameplay thing, third-party gameplay showcase. And I feel like Sony have done one event, and they've shown an ugly console and an ugly controller, but they've done one event, and they're kind of back in the lead now. Like as far as I think public opinion goes, is like what people are going to be getting. Yeah, I think Sony have to do a lot less, you know.
Yeah, you're totally right. There's way more people already playing the PlayStation 4, and they don't have to win over as many people as the Xbox, so the Xbox probably has to try doubly hard to get people back. I totally agree with you, though, in that from what I've seen on Twitter, like the memes of the PlayStation 5 compared to the Xbox. I mean, originally when the Xbox was coming out, they first gave that first showcase anyway, that's all it was. But since PS5, I mean, so many people have been talking about it. It seems to be way more of a thing now. But Daf Weeks, you said you were going to buy... You said you're going PS5, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you reckon you'll ever get an Xbox, or is it just... Do you think anything could win you over?
I don't know. I don't know what they would have to do to win me over, because the exclusive titles on Xbox have never tickled me anyway. I don't really... I'll be honest, I've just not really paid attention to them, because I have... Like, they'd have to somehow, like hack into a PlayStation 5 event to get my attention.
Sure.
I mean, that would be awesome. That would be pretty cool. It's like, if anyone's listening, Dav's telling you, you're going to get his attention if you do that. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, they have to do something... They would have to bring out a game, like, say, for instance, if they said GTA... I know you don't play Grand Theft Auto, do you?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, so... Oh, no, it's Zach, right.
No, if GTA 6 was an exclusive on the Xbox, maybe we could have a conversation about that.
But it would have to be
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It would have to be something that big to sway.
And Xbox have kind of, not abandoned, but definitely toned down a lot their push for exclusives. And it happened at the same time as they... So they stopped trying to get third-party exclusives, but also, at the same time... They had a weird first-party exclusive initiative thing going on.
Yeah.
And they've spent the last sort of, however long it's been since Phil Spencer got there, really, sort of acquiring studios and building the repertoire and trying to rebuild the reputations of their IPs, because Halo, after sort of Halo 4 and Halo 5, kind of was on the downward trend. But with Halo Infinite, they seem to be doing all right, the messaging.
Yeah.
I still hate it every time... Cortana speaks at the end of a trailer, like we're supposed to go, oh, she's back. It's like, I don't care about her. And then Gears as well, Gears 5. I started Gears 5. Haven't got any further with it than last time we spoke, but it's supposed to be the best one campaign wise of the whole franchise. So they seem like they're going in the right steps, and I'm really interested to see what they've got up their sleeve for this first party announcement. Also, more important than all of that, Hellblade 2. I can't tell you how excited I am to play that game. Hellblade is one of my favourite games of all time. Hellblade 2. Oh, I'm so pumped. So pumped.
It is a shame because, I mean, the last gen, they were neck and neck it is such a shame that they fluffed
Oh
this gen,
Massively.
and they
Massively.
really did as well. I think. It's nowhere near as big as if you go back. I think it was '96 when it happened, when like Sega Saturn was coming out, and they were like, it's £400, and then PlayStation came out and said it was $299, and they just walked off. Like, there was mic drop moment. It wasn't as big as that, but I think it was just, PlayStation was just extremely clear. They were just very clear, and Xbox wasn't. I think the whole Kinect thing as well was, it was a bit, I don't know. But here's hoping. I mean, I want there to be like good competition at least, because
That's the thing. The more competition there is, the better both sides will be.
Yeah, especially when it comes to being consumer friendly. It's own. I mean, that's the one thing with Xbox. They've had to become extremely consumer friendly to win back people, which is what we want. So let's move on. We've still got a few more bits of news before we start talking about games. So Nintendo, like I said earlier, they had a big meeting the other day. They actually apologized for Joy-Con drift.
Finally.
They can't comment any further because there is actually a lawsuit going on. But they have actually apologized for the Joy-Con drift. I think we've all had Joy-Con drift.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 of my controllers. I've got 6. 3 of them have had Joy-Con drift to certain degrees, varying degrees. Some of them have just a little bit, and I can still use it. And one of them I just can't use anymore. So I'm trying.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get them sent back, but obviously they've stopped doing it. Was COVID-19? It's been happening. So God knows when I'll be able to send it back. But how many?
It's the worst thing to come out of COVID.
yeah.
Damn you, Nintendo.
Yeah, but I mean, for you guys, has it affected you massively? Because I know you, Daf Gape, you sent yours off to get fixed, didn't you?
I did about 2 weeks before lockdown happened. I finally got round to sending, because both of mine had it. So I only ever had the 2, so I sent them both off, and they came back about 2 weeks before this whole lockdown stuff happened. So I was quite fortunate for that. I've not had a problem since, but then I very rarely use them nowadays.
Yeah,
I just use the Pro Controller.
Yeah,
I don't even think don't know the last time I played a game undocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's weird because I've got the way everything's set up for me, like my gaming stuff. I've got a massive TV in the corner, and I got a smaller TV here. So if Rosie's watching the TV, I just come over and dock, like literally move it from one space to another, and that is great. But there's so many times where I'm so happy to sit on the sofa. However, saying that, the one good thing to come from it is that I've been able to put together, I don't know if you can see this, my snazzy blues.
Oh,
If
blue,
you can't
blue.
see this, if you can't see this, it's just 2 blue Joy-Con controllers, and it just looks lovely. It looks really nice. When I did that, I was like, you know what? And the same with when you put 2 red ones together, it just looks really nice. But yeah, it's good that they've acknowledged it. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do when in maybe a year's time. We don't know when this is all going to end, but when it is over, or at least normality comes back to a certain degree, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Whether because I know a lot of people have been able to get this done free of charge, but we'll see what happens beyond that. Again, there's still got some more news. Two final pieces. Cyberpunk had a full hour demo released to certain members of the press. From what it sounds like, everyone does seem to say it's quite good. I've tried not to read too much, though.
It's the best game they've ever played just from a demo. I know, and those are people that I don't usually see being hyperbolic. So people are saying this is like what every game should strive to be next gen. Yeah, and it's like already, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, the hype that's surrounding this game. Well,
from my experiences playing The Witcher 3. It doesn't surprise me at all. It really like what they did with The Witcher 3, playing I loved that game so much. I put over 100 hours into that game. I probably could have put in more, but it was purely Luigi's Mansion came out, and I was so close to the end. You're like, I'll just finish this and come back to it. I obviously never came back to it because that happens all the time. But we'll come on to The Last of Us 2. But for me, this I've said for a while. This game, I just think, I don't know. I think it's going to win Game of the Year, personally. But Daf Weeks, you were going to say something. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I was I refuse to get on the hype train. Yeah. It only leads to pain. Yeah. So I'm staying clear of it. I mean, I've watched little bits of the gameplay. I'm not gonna sit there and watch the whole thing, but
Yeah.
you know, it's reminding me of Deus Ex, which I love. And you know, it just feels lush and expansive and doing something very pure with the whole concept of this kind of genre.
Yeah.
The immersive sim, they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, you know, people have like touched on, but like they've just kind of like, you know what, we're just gonna do all the tropes. Why not? And that for me, I think is quite exciting. You know.
Yeah, and I think you it's a really good point as well. And I think for me, whenever I watch it, I mean, we've had so many post-apocalyptic games where everything is desolate. You know, the world is you know, grubby and dirty, whereas this isn't. This is still, you know, still bad things have happened, but it's bright and shiny. We've not really had many games like this.
You know, the game almost feels like pre-apocalyptic. Like, there's an apocalypse coming.
It's on the horizon. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. But 2078.
Yeah, and that actually is a very good point, actually. But yeah, I and Daf Weeks, again, I'm the same with you. I've tried. I've watched snippets and I've listened to little bits just to get an idea of where it's going. But I'm like, I don't need to. I did the same with The Last of Us 2. I knew I was probably going to enjoy the game based on what I've seen. Unless it's completely different to how it looks currently, and I can't imagine it will be. I don't know. I personally think it's going to be Game of the Year, just from what everyone said so far. But
and it's also worth considering that people will be playing that on their PS5s and their Xbox Series X's.
That's true. It's going to blow so many people's minds. Just because it's good. Yeah, you're totally right as well. It's going to be the next step up again. And the first
However,
game.
I won't be surprised if it takes 2 weeks for that game to be fixed. Because The Witcher 3, no one ever remembers this, but when it came out, it was buggy as hell. And every day they had a patch and free DLC released for, I think, 12 days in a row for them to fix all the little problems that were in the game when it came out.
Wow.
But no one ever remembers that. And everyone goes, oh, CD Projekt Red, they always publish a finished, polished project. It's like, no. Quite the opposite. But the difference is they will go to the lengths they need to make sure the players get the game that they want the players to have.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing we live in a world where like they can do that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I can imagine trying to send off like an N64 cartridge. You need to debug this thing.
Superman 64 was like one of the biggest examples of that. It was just a buggy mess. It just wasn't. It was pretty much it was unfinished, and they sent it out, and it was just like, well, that's it. Then that game will forever be a buggy mess, unless someone ports it to their PC and fixes it themselves. But yeah, I mean, we've discussed this before. There's pluses and minuses to those patches, but you know what? I mean, at the same time, I'd rather have the option to fix a game, and I imagine we all would as well. But again, imagine if you don't have the internet. It's crazy to think there is someone who plays video games with no internet, but I imagine there might be someone who doesn't have internet.
Or people that, especially in America, there's quite an odd internet infrastructure over there in the US. And so, like, there will be some people that might have internet, but maybe only have, like, 600 kilobytes a second.
Yeah.
So when it's like, oh, here's the game. Also, you've got to download this, like, 20 gigs on day one. Or, like, I mean, Modern Warfare, don't even get me started on Warzone and Modern Warfare. Currently, that's sitting at 180-ish gigs.
That's ridiculous,
man.
It's
ridiculous. But imagine if you've only got a 600 kilobyte per second, and you've bought the physical disc. You pop it in, you go, oh, you need a 20 gigs update. That's days. That's literally days that you've got to wait to play that game.
It's mad, and you're totally right as well. In America, so I mean, we take for granted in the UK. Internet is pretty okay. I'd say everywhere I've been. I mean, you can get what you pay for. If you go with someone.
Unless you're in the Hebrides.
Yeah. I mean,
or the Hebrides, as I thought it was called for many years.
So we're going to move into the last tiny bit of news because we are going over just ever so slightly, but it's a little bit of fun as well. I put this in the group earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, but Super Nintendo World in Japan. Yeah. There's been a massive new video just showing everything moving and everything going, and you know what? I am hype. I think we should have a Video Games Ahoy trip to Japan as soon as we're able to go.
And we'll do a 24-hour stream to raise some money for that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's probably going to be more like a week, just a whole week of us.
A week-long stream, just taking it in turns, doing days each.
But yeah, I mean, I know they're bringing it over to America at some point. That is obviously going to be easier for us to get to, but just seeing it in action, it's everything I would have loved when I was 10 years old. But yeah, did you guys both see it? I know Daf Weeks. I know you saw it.
I don't want to watch it in motion.
Okay.
I want to.
I know Daf Weeks saw it earlier, and we were just both giggling.
Giggle.
Yeah,
it
just
really
giggling.
Did. It was so cheesy and but absolutely adorable. It's like the Mario It's a Small World.
This is the feeling that I never understood from people who are our age and are massive Disney fans. Now, I get an appreciation and a love for Disney. There are people who just adore and every little thing about the parks and the amusement parks. I never really quite got that level of fanaticism.
Yeah.
And hearing, just thinking of teacups, but instead of teacups, it's Koopa shells. that just makes me want to just jump for joy.
There's the Mario Kart ride.
Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
The thing as well, what they're doing with that ride, apparently, is there's loads of new technology. You go through loads of different courses. There's not just one course you drive along, and
is that the VR one or the AR one?
It's using a lot of new technology as well. So you see people driving along next to you. Honestly, I am so hyped for that just in general. But yeah, check it out if you can. It's somewhere on Twitter. I can't remember where I watched it, but yeah, check it out. It looks so fun. So now we should probably move on because we spent half an hour talking about all kinds of news and things when we could be talking about games we've been playing. Now we're going to start with Daf Gape just because I think you've got about 20 games you've been playing in the last week.
I've been playing a lot of games, but I'm going to try and limit it to 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm limited to 2 games.
Yeah.
The first one is a game called I Am Bread.
Yeah, I watched you play this for a bit.
Oh my god, I've never been more tense in any gaming experience than in hour 5 of the 24-hour stream, trying to get a slice of bread into a toaster from the other side of the room.
Oh my god, I hate that game so much.
Oh, good lord.
It's so frustrating.
So, you control... It's made by the creators of Surgeon Simulator. Surgeon Simulator 2, by the way, looks so fun, and we definitely need to do a co-op stream of that. It looks so fun. Anyway, I Am Bread. You play a slice of bread, right? And each bumper trigger button controls one corner of the slice of bread. And so if you want to flip, you've got to press the 2 buttons that control these corners, and then move the left analog stick, and then those buttons, and all right, anything. Anyway, and there are these obstacles in the way, and you've got an edibility meter, and if you touch the floor or hit the ants or hit the broken glass, your edibility goes down. If that goes to 0, you fail. And you've got a timer as well. You start off on a table, and then there's a counter, and there's a toaster right at the end, and there's loads of different obstacles, and there's a Jenga tower, and I spent a bit of time trying to get a block out of the Jenga tower. That was fun. There's a skateboard as well. Oh, mate, it's crazy, this game. And then level 2, there was you're in the lounge, and instead of using a toaster, you have to find the radiator, get to the radiator, turn it on, and then pop yourself inside there. And then there were loads of different modes. My favourite mode was the bagel race. Don't know if you saw that, Dav.
I didn't watch you play the bagel race, but I'm familiar with the bagel race.
The bagel race, you play as a bagel, and you've just got to hit the checkpoints and get to the finish line in the right amount of time.
That sounds amazing.
Mate, this game is crazy. I have since uninstalled it, though. I will never put myself through that.
No, here's the thing, as you say, I did that first level, spent hours, I think my teeth are now half the length they used to be. And then I did it, and then it was cool, level 2. And I was nah. Nah. Maybe one go and went, nah, not worth it.
It was on sale, and I think it still might be, but it was less than £2. So if you want to be a slice of bread and a bagel and a baguette trying to smash stuff, then, dude, check this out. Less than £2. But the other game, a game I enjoyed a lot more, and that I ended the stream with, and that was Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Do you know what I was going to say? Is I actually saw you playing that for a little bit, and I think it was really funny because it was obviously towards the end, and I think you turned your camera off for a little bit.
Yes.
I was just in my, because I'd only tuned in and I just saw that. I was like, there's a part of me that feels like you're just asleep and your roommate's just playing. But then I came back in like 20 minutes later and you were alive. I was like, okay, he's fine.
Well, I'd gone for a wee break and just forgotten to turn the camera and microphone back on. But no, that was, oh my god, dude, that game is so good. And the great thing about it was it looks obviously completely transformed from the original. And I know I'm late jumping on the Crash Bandicoot wagon.
Yay.
But it was just beautiful, and to be able to play these levels, and I do have memories of playing it as a kid, but I didn't know if it was Crash 1, 2, 3 or whatever. And then I'd be like half through a level and go, oh, I know this level. I remember the layout of this level. I know you've got to jump there, even though I can't see it on the screen. And like, for a game to be like so completely overhauled, but still feel just like the original and still like evoke those memories and that nostalgia, no wonder this game sold so many copies, you know? And the only reason I really wanted to get the trilogy was seeing the trailer for Crash 4 from the other day. And I was like, this game looks pretty damn cool. Like, as far as like semi 3D platformers go, it's like a really cool game. So
is it trickier than we think? Because I've read that it's not easy.
Yeah, apparently Crash 1's the hardest.
Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't the easiest. There were like some moments. So there was one level, there was a bridge level. Anyone who watched the stream will know what I'm talking about with the bridge level. But basically, you're going down this like rope and like wooden bridge, and there's some of the slats are like broken, and if you land on those, you fall through. And like, these massive like warthogs you've got to jump over.
Yeah.
And there's these other ones that are like slanted down, and all the rest of it. You've got all these perfect jumps you have to make to finish the level, and then you get to a certain point, and if you've got the 3 Coco Bandicoot faces, you get the bonus level, which get you some extra lives and a new checkpoint. And I got there, and I was like, oh sweet. So you just have to walk left onto the thing, and then you do the bonus level. I walk left, and behind the pillar that you walk behind, there's a gap. And I just fell to my death. And I think I ran out of lives and had to restart the whole level. I was broken. Because like, I started Crash at hour 20, and played it right at the end as well. So yeah, I was a shell of a man. But that game, I'm just going to stream it again.
I was going to say, do you reckon you'll stream it again?
Yeah, I'm going to stream it. I might do the whole trilogy.
That's great, man. That's
wow.
Do you know? Because I think we had a conversation about this last week, didn't we? We were saying that neither of us have played that trilogy, but we both looked like 4 could be really good. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have thought so many times about picking it up myself. There's one question I was going to ask about your stream, actually, because I completely forgot about this. Did you play Link's Awakening?
Oh, I did. 2 a.m. till 4 a.m.
How was that?
Oh, it was so wonderful. That's the other game I'm going to carry on streaming, but I didn't want to talk about it today because I want to talk about it when I finish it.
That's great. Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave it there if you'd like. But just seeing your face and just that I know enough. I know enough about how you feel about that game. That's great.
Glorious.
Daf Weeks, how about you? What have you been up to? Well, actually, I know what you've been up to. Feel free to talk about that game. Okay, I've been playing something else as well. If you'd like to talk about it.
Oh, like because I had to. I didn't know where you want to go because we obviously already recorded.
Yeah. You can talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Last of Us 2, innit?
Last of Us 2.
Like,
how spoiler are we getting?
Let's not do the spoilers.
Let's not do the spoilers.
Let's not do the spoilers.
Let's talk more about gameplay, I guess, and just how you felt about it. Yeah.
We didn't really touch upon as much in the other episode, but
heavily story focused last night. That podcast was.
And here's the thing: like, Last of Us is a story predominantly. I feel like it's a cinematic experience, like more than any other kind of thing that tries to blend this storytelling gameplay thing, and it does it very well. I really like the gameplay. You know, it's basically finessed what the first one did. And it's a shame Zach's not here. I wanted to ask him because, like, I know he hates Uncharted so much, but loves Last of Us so much, and yet the gameplay kind of similar. It is ducking behind cover, shooting enemies, sneaking up behind them, choking them.
I think when I was doing when me and Daf Gape were doing the video for Rank the Jank, when I was watching that, to be fair, you are right. It does look and feel quite similar, but I would say Uncharted is way more arcadey, and it feels
Absolutely.
yeah. I think that's probably what it is with Last of Us. How I felt anyway. It felt like there was more weight to stuff, and it was far more stealthy as well. Obviously.
And it's worth noting that Zach hasn't played Uncharted 3 or 4, so he's
That is
playing.
true. Yeah.
He's playing what today's standards might consider a jankier version of the
Sure.
stuff behind cover than the other thing.
I mean, because it is that. I love how you just somehow have this instinct on how to traverse these terrains and these like trashed up buildings, and the subtle little psychology of lighting and little props kind of pointing your way. I just think it's done really cleverly and really beautifully, and I love the puzzles that you need to solve. Maybe there just wasn't quite as much puzzle solving as I would have liked. I love little puzzle solvey bits, and maybe there were just a couple too few, like laying planks and moving bins. Maybe it got a bit trite in the first one, but I don't know. I kind of like that element.
Did you? There's one particular part of the game, and this is not really a spoiler. It's just kind of like an area you've got to get into. It's basically a locked door, and I think you're playing as Ellie, or I can't remember if it's Ellie or Ivy. But you go up. You've got to basically get in through a door by throwing a piece like a hose pipe over. Like, did you? That I spent about 10 minutes on that, just being like, where am I going to throw it? Where am I throwing this?
The rope stuff I love. See, and that's the kind of puzzle thing, the ingenuity that I really liked. And I also liked a lovely bit of game design where like you solve a basic version of the puzzle, and with that in your mind, you use that to solve a slightly more complicated thing. They've done the whole witness thing, but on a very, very small scale, which unfortunately only lasts about maybe 2 or 3 puzzles. It's like, dude, this is good stuff. Keep this up. But I'm asking too much, I think. Gameplay wise, I think it does the job really well. It's really satisfying sneaking around and getting like a headshot against someone, or like you've been waiting there for ages trying to get people in the right place where you think you can get around and choke someone without getting spotted. It's really satisfying. And the clickers are scary. Just as scary as and they've added new versions. Like you've got I don't know, do I even want to talk about the new versions?
I mean, the one thing I will say is to anyone that's played it, I think they'll all understand this and appreciate the hospital basement battle. And that's all I'm going to say. That's not really like that in itself is one of the best things. Oh my goodness.
I suppose they've kind of like before we had runners, clickers, bloaters. Now we've kind of got 2 more iterations which kind of fit in between those. And they're great. Again, you just need a whole new skill set and to overcome them. I love the fact you need a different tactic to take on all these different types of baddies. The same goes for the humans. Like the humans now, there's brutes, who you don't want to get into a fist fight with them, because you will lose because they're huge. Like the Scars have like this weird Miss Trunchbull type skin.
They do, they do.
And literally, we've been calling her Miss Trunchbull, and she pops up every now and again. It's like, great, a game where we get beat at Miss Trunchbull.
Finally.
But
justice.
I totally get where you're coming from. I think it's one of, for me personally, I think it's one of the best combat systems that I've played in a game. It felt, for me, again, personally, it felt so fluid and varied. I loved the choice of weapons across the board. But how about you? Yeah, I guess continue what you were saying.
I suppose like one thing I really like about it is like I've been playing this alongside with Hoy, who is on the other episode, my wife, and we have very different styles of playing it. Like she has probably spent twice as long on it doing exactly the same amount because she is stealthy, sneaky. Meanwhile, I get impatient, just go, which is just how I am. it does mean I replay levels a lot.
Yeah.
And the one way that is really detrimental to my play is like, obviously I get to a new area with half the resources that I actually need.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Hoy is like walking past items, not being able to pick them up because she hasn't used anything. And also, one little tactic as well, when they encourage you not to run like headfirst into people. In fact, if you get killed running headfirst into someone, it'll say, "Don't run headfirst into people; they will shoot you."
Yeah.
It's like, damn it! But that's what I like doing.
Yeah.
So they actively encourage you not to do that because you do die.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I do love the resource management in the game. I love how hard it is. Sometimes you'll be like, I've got 2 bullets, so I've got to get past this section. Oh, look, there's bullets over there. I've got to get past the section to get those bullets, but I can't just go shooting everyone because who knows how many people there's going to be, you know? Because I loved the introduction of dogs. Again, I thought that was really cool.
The dogs were cool. Did not like the fact you gotta kill him.
Oh, don't. Any
that
game
was not cool, bruh.
Yeah.
Were they zombie dogs or like dog
No,
dogs?
they were human
just
dogs.
dogs.
Human dogs.
Human dogs.
I
Even
was gonna
worse.
say that. I was
Living
going to say
dogs. I said it.
that. Are they zombie dogs or human dogs?
And like they make a point of it. They make a point.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
You know that. Hang on, killing dogs. Play fetch with dogs. That's what you do with dogs.
Yeah.
What are you doing killing dogs? It's like, you're making me kill dogs, you
Yeah.
evil game.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can manage a way to not.
I'm sure you can play the game
There's-
without... I think there's one dog that
Yeah,
has
there's
to
one dog that
die,
has to bite the bullet, sadly.
but literally bite a bullet.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like the fact that they make you kill dogs. I think a lot of people are going to be really annoyed with that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the thing is that we spoke again. We're not going to go into spoiler territory, but we did speak about it yesterday, saying the game, a lot of it just is there. It's there to make you feel uncomfortable, and it's not so much to make you. We said this again yesterday. It's not to make you feel like you are Ellie, but to experience the world that Ellie is experiencing, and it is harsh and it is evil, and you've got to do
sure
things
Ellie
that
doesn't want to kill a
exactly,
dog, but
exactly.
she has to.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there are elements of that game which I do think we will look back and go, oh, that is the reason why this is in this game, because it came from The Last of Us 2. I do think it did a lot of things that a lot of games are just going to go mine and just implement further. I mean,
That's interesting.
We said there's a lot of flaws in the game. That there are. I think length maybe being I think maybe was one of them.
Too long?
I can see why people would think it would be too long. I mean, personally, I loved it, but there's a particular part of the game that feels overly long and a bit
the structuring
tiresome.
just goes a bit weird by the end, in my opinion. And we talk about that in more detail.
Yeah.
So many games struggle with that sort of Act 4 of 5, you know? Like it always drags. Same for Hellblade. It's obviously quite a very different game, but it just made me think of that. A beautiful, brilliant game, but there's just that Act 4 sort of like, not quite the end, but the bit before the end, and it's like, this is tedious. This is tedious now. I feel like a lot of games have that moment where it's like, right, this is going to be a lot of gameplay, which is going to be quite repetitive and challenging, but not in a fun way, and there's not going to be much of a story payoff for this section.
Yeah.
You just got to churn your way through this.
Yeah.
It's like, just bring that, half that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a
And
game
you're
that is
good to
so
go.
focused on story, I think that's why it hurt more than in a game that was more of a sandboxy type thing.
Yeah, and it's been interesting as well, because on Twitter recently, especially in the last week, a lot of people have been talking about, does the length of a game equal value? And I don't necessarily think that is true. I don't think inherently a 50-hour game is more value than a 20-hour game. Especially in the 50-hour game, it could be like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed 3. And I know we've spoke a lot about that game, but a lot of that game is there as filler. It's fluff. You know, it's like, it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't add anything to the game. It's artificially inflating the length of the game, which is weird to say, because at the
You
same
usually
time,
have to get a doctor's appointment for that.
hey, that seems like something an illness in 2 Point Hospital, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something in there, but
Artificial inflation.
But yeah, it's not to jump on your point, Dev, because I know we've both been playing it. So it's hard not
Get off
to.
his point.
It's hard not to get involved in that topic. But yeah, maybe a condensed version. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, we had a long chat about that, and I'm
Yeah, we
scared
did.
if I speak anymore, I'll let something slip that I'm not meant to let slip. So,
Yeah.
Where can people find this long chat of yours?
Well, it's
Good
going
point,
to be
Jonny.
available to our patrons over on Patreon. And if you are one of those, then you will be able to listen to it. If you pay £5 a month, then you will get it for, well, not for free. You're paying for it, but you know what I mean. It'll be easy to listen to, I should say. Who knows? I mean, we did it was so much fun talking about that. I would love to do more of those, not necessarily linked to deep dives. It's great that we've got those. But I would love to have sessions where, even if it's just two of us talking about a specific game. Before we move on, because I've just had a thought, and this is so random. We were talking earlier about games that we can play all together. We have not played Overcooked together. That is definitely something we should play.
yeah.
It's when you mentioned that game about bread. Maybe we should definitely have a stream where we all play Overcooked, because that is going to be that would be
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Once Zach finally sorts out his internet, we can do 4-player.
Yeah. Well, yes. Can you do crossplay? Because he hasn't got a Switch. Don't think you can.
I'd have to buy Overcooked as well on my Switch, but I'm happy to.
We can
3-player then. We'll do 3-player.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Screw him.
We'll check it out.
Or if we can get 2 people on one system, Hoy can be the 4th player.
That's true.
Or Rosie.
Rosie, yeah.
And
Because
Rosie,
we played. I think we did it with me, you, Rosie, and Hoy before, didn't we?
we did.
We did, and we just couldn't do anything. We
No, it was manic. But
yeah, it was
good
manic.
idea.
But that so maybe
So we replace one of the partners with me, and you're hoping for more success.
yes,
That's what I'm hearing,
yes,
and not more mania.
more love as well.
I definitely love you both more than your partners.
So I just want to briefly talk about a game that I've been playing. I know I mentioned it earlier. Have you guys played Bioshock Infinite?
No.
Have you?
Yes.
So okay,
I
so
own
Daf
it.
Weeks. Oh, you own it. Okay. Have you played any of the Bioshocks?
Bioshock 1.
Okay.
I hate the ending, but yeah.
Yeah, from what I remember from the ending, it felt slightly. It just felt weird compared to the rest of the game, because I do love the rest of that game. Like,
Okay. Quick spoilers for Bioshock 1. If you don't want to hear them, skip forward maybe 15 seconds.
yes,
Starting now. So the guy's like, oh, I've been saying would you kindly the whole time to make you do all this stuff. It's like, no, if I didn't do that stuff, the game wouldn't have progressed. I only did it because you had to do it in the game. I wasn't given a choice, and then you went, oh, would you kindly? And I went for that one. I had to do it because the game would have just stopped at me at the lighthouse if you hadn't said, would you kindly? There was no trickery involved at all. There was no big thing, but because they tell us there's a big thing, we all believe there is, and we all think, oh, amazing that they've managed to trick us into doing this. And there's a massive gold man thing we've got to fight. Oh, what a lovely game, but that ending was absolutely atrocious. I hate it. Thank you.
Feel better
End.
now, Zav?
yeah.
I do actually, yeah. I've been doing the 24-hour
Got that off
stream
your
right now.
chest.
We are a spoiler-free podcast over here at Video Games Ahoy. So if you're joining us again, we are now free of spoilers. But if you did want to check out what Dav said, go back about 20 seconds. He has an epic rant. But yeah,
It's like Zach's Uncharted rant. It's like,
oh yeah.
the end of Bioshock is mine.
This is going to be a recurring theme now. Every week, we're going to try and get Dav to just replay Bioshock, just to get him angry, poke the bear.
Rank the jank on Bioshock.
I've been playing Bioshock Infinite. I'm only about maybe 2 or 3 hours in, and obviously it came to the Switch, and I mentioned that I picked it up. I've got it on the PC. I could have played it on the PC, but again, it was £15, I think it was. I bought it for, and I was like, you know what? It's one of my favorite games of all time. I haven't played it though in about 7 years, so it's interesting playing it now. And not so much from a gameplay perspective of, oh yeah, okay, it's aged. Yeah, of course it's aged. I just didn't. There were certain things I'd forgotten about it. I didn't realize how arcadey the battle system was.
Yeah.
I had really forgot. I thought it was way more realistic in my memory. I thought it was way more realistic than what it actually was in my mind. But actually playing through it again, I'm like, oh, you know what? I mean, obviously you've got all these powers as well, so it's not going to be realistic in the first place. But yeah, like when you're battling all of these people, and it's really interesting. It was really a moment of me going, oh, I maybe I have different opinions about this game now. And playing through it again, yeah, okay, like I said, it has aged. It's a 7-year-old game, and it's on the Switch as well. So if I was going to play the definitive edition, it wouldn't be on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still really enjoying it, and there are a lot of things that have, noticeably aged. But then there's a lot of things that I play, and I'm like, you know what? If this was upgraded slightly, I think it could be still released now. I think the story is good. At least tries to challenge you at least, and it's tense. I mean, the one thing I will say about that compared to the first game. So the first game is just, it's obviously, I've thrown this thing around by the way, I don't know if you can see it. I'm just holding it in my hands. It's so obvious how insidious it is, and it's just really dark and evil. It's so clear. Whereas in BioShock Infinite, it's not. It's everything is perfect, and it's all about religious fundamentalism, and how people can get really soaked. You can really get soaked up by being told one thing, and because you believe in the power above, it's like, oh well, it must be true. And just the section that I'm at now, they've actually just got to a point. It's not so much of a spoiler, but there's a place you get to where it's a theme park, but it's like the theme. It's like Disney. It's like a theme park like Disney, but it's with soldiers. And one of the characters in the game is like, it's about trying to get kids to think that really get engrossed by the fact that being a soldier is like a good thing. You should want to become a soldier and do all of these things and not question it. Just it's second nature.
Yeah, and I think that, if we're going to go real for a second, that's kind of like what an army advert is. I was watching one earlier while I was catching up on Love Island Australia. And
wow. Okay.
That is the two ends, isn't it? That is the two ends.
It's like a gunship, an aircraft carrier. Once you can fix all of these, you can be a Royal Navy engineer.
Yeah. Blow someone's head off.
Yeah.
In real life.
Such glorifying. And also, think about things like the Super Bowl, right? Or American football, the NFL in general.
Yeah.
You know how they've got such a massive sort of army presence at these games and stuff. The forces pay the NFL to be at these matches, and it comes out of their recruitment budget. Oh my. Because their presence there is just promoting them and trying to recruit people into joining the forces. And I'm not saying that armies aren't a necessary thing, but
that's a whole other topic, isn't it? That's
exactly.
Deep dive for a different day.
Oh, gosh.
Hashtag pacifist. But the idea that you have to glorify it in order to indoctrinate young people, and especially there are some adverts for the army where it's like, oh, have you ever been sat in the classroom and your head's just like looking out the window and you're bored of school? Join the army. And it's like,
see the world, get all these experiences, maybe get shot
Don't
at.
target people that don't necessarily have the best qualifications or maybe having a tough time in school. Those people that need help. Those aren't the people that need indoctrination. No. Because they're the easier targets.
That's literally how cults work.
Yeah.
They find people who are disenfranchised and go, hey, here's an option for you.
Yeah.
That's how cults work. And God, we are really going off topic.
Well, no, but this is it. But
to bring it back to BioShock Infinite, I think it's really cool when games tackle real issues like this as opposed to what they do in BioShock 1.
Well, again, it's interesting, especially, I mean, sadly, especially just coming back quickly to The Last of Us 2, there's been a lot of bile in that direction about, LGBT stuff and all these kinds of things. And it's interesting when people say take politics out of games when, fundamentally, so many video games are rooted in politics and the politics of they create, the creative team. They're making a decision to do these things. There's a very famous example of a first-person shooter, and I can't remember what it's called, Spec Ops: The Line?
Yes.
I'm not going to spoil that, but do you guys know the game?
I think I know what you're on about.
Do you know the ending of the game? That game in particular. If you don't mind being spoiled, go read up about the ending of that game on Wikipedia. I'm not going to talk about it now. But stuff like that. I mean, it is interesting when people do that. You can't take politics out of games because creatively, so many games are driven by that. How many JRPGs can you play where you're fighting against a ruthless power that is essentially a fascist dictatorship? It's like so many of these things. We are really going off topic right now. But what I was trying to say with BioShock is that it's interesting that he was doing this 10 years ago, and it was interesting that he was doing this in such a way that it's I don't know. I mean, if you played BioShock Infinite, you already know that that's what it's like. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And it's interesting going back to these things because when I first played it, I wasn't expecting that. So now I'm going back and seeing that and expecting it and going, oh, this goes further. This goes deeper than what I previously expected. I know the ending of that game, and I know a lot of people didn't like the ending of that game as well. But really, really been enjoying it, and you should I think, Dav, you should definitely give it a go. Maybe you like that better. I think the combat system in that is...
Maybe I'll replay BioShock 1.
Next week's episode of Rank the Jank. But yeah. So we're going to move on to just a little fun quiz. We've been doing fun quizzes for the last 2 weeks. And what's been really great is I've had a few messages from people actually saying that they've been joining in with them as well. They've been trying to guess things.
Nice.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, episode 9. One of my friends messaged me saying, Tetris I was going to say Tetris. He's thinking of Tetris so many times. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about the best-selling video games of all time. So singular games. So one game, best-selling games of all time. We're not talking about how much money it's made. We're talking about how many games it is sold. This isn't as well. Looking at the list, I don't think it's free to play. It doesn't look like. I don't think there's any free. There's maybe one, but even that game, I don't think it's free to play. So, I'll put it out there. Fortnite is not on here. So
Right.
don't think along those lines. And if the one game that I'm thinking of is, then I apologize. But we'll come to it. There's 11. I've got 11 on this list, but that's you'll see why.
Is there a tie at 10?
Kind of, yeah. Remember, single titles. Daf Gape will, like I said, we'll maybe give you both 5 turns. So 5 goes.
There's only 11. There's 11. Give us
Okay.
Give us 3 wrongs. 3 wrongs each.
Okay, so what I will say is that it's not the one title is there twice. That's why I'm saying. So you'll get it. You won't need another go. You'll see what I mean, and I'll explain it. Okay.
Okay.
So Daf Gape, off you go.
Best-selling games of all time.
Single game. So one game in a series.
Tetris.
On there twice. So let me explain that. That's the one game that's on there twice. So
Tetris DS?
It's the mobile version, which has sold 100 million.
Yeah.
And then it's the Tetris on the Game Boy and the NES, which sold 43 million.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Daf Weeks?
Well, seeing as last week you said it was the single piece of media that's made the most money? I'm going to say GTA 5.
GTA 5 is second, 130 million copies sold. I mean, that is probably an estimate. It's probably way more than that now as well. But these are the most up-to-date facts that I have.
So where was Tetris and Tetris?
Tetris was 3rd and 9th.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to say Wii Sports.
You've learned. You've
always Wii
learned.
Sports.
My good friend Daf Gape, you have learned. It is number 4. 82 million copies sold. I feel like that's
82 million Wii Sports. 101 million Wii's sold.
That is really
So
interesting.
19 million Wii's didn't have Wii Sports.
Was it the second iteration of the Wii though? Wasn't it the red Wii? There was a red Wii, I think it was, where maybe they didn't sell it with it. Who knows? I don't know. But you are right though. There's 20 million copies of Wii Sports that's gone missing there, unless certain. I'll come on to the next bit. Daf Weeks.
Super Mario, the first Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it's on there. So Super Mario Bros. 48 million copies.
What number is that then?
That is number 6.
So
Wii
you still haven't
Sports is
got number 1
4.
yet?
No, number 1's not there. Daf Gape?
Oh, okay. Think. What's sold a lot? Is Breath of the Wild on there?
Breath of the Wild has sold 17 million copies, but it's
Okay,
not. It's not
okay.
on there. It's not on there. So that's your third one, I believe. So
Yeah.
Daf Weeks.
Pokemon Red and Blue.
That is a wonderful shout. That is 47 million, not 47,000. 47 million copies. That is in 7th place, I think. Yeah, 7th.
It's 2 different games.
I was
In
going to
Japan,
wonder.
yeah. Well, apparently, the thing with
That's
Japan
right.
and Nintendo don't consider them 2 different games, but that's a whole different topic.
Technicalities.
Yeah.
Don't release 2 different games. If you don't think there's 2 different games, don't release 2.
Dab is quite salty right now. Daf Gape, 2 more goes.
It's got to be something on DS, surely. Mario Kart DS.
Nope.
Ah, which one is it then? It's one of them.
I can't tell you because
I know which one.
You still got to go. One more go. Dab Weeks.
If I'm going to call it Mario Kart, I'm going to say it's Mario Kart. Which one was on the Wii? 6?
That was 7.
7 on the Wii.
7 was on the 3DS.
6.
Oh yeah.
So Mario.
Mario Kart Wii.
Are you saying Mario Kart Wii?
Mario Kart Wii.
Yes, that's number 11. That's number 11. So that's actually the best-selling Mario Kart game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will probably overtake it. It's Mario Kart Deluxe is
eventually.
4 million copies away from overtaking Mario Kart Wii, which has sold 37 million.
I was going to guess 8.
It's close. It's 33 million, I think it is. 30, it's around that mark.
It's the number 1 game we still haven't got.
Still haven't got Dab. You got one more guess, and you both got one more guess.
What the heck? Skyrim.
Nope.
Is that in the top? It's not in the top 11.
Not in the top 11.
Skyrim. It's on everything.
No, not in the top 11.
Oh, that's mental.
Dab Weeks?
That's mental.
The original Sonic the Hedgehog?
Nope. Right. Do you want me to go from 11 to 1?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the game, which I'm not sure myself if it's free to play or not, and then, but it's only one game. So in, what are you going to say?
Go on.
Oh, Minecraft.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh.
1.
Mario Kart Wii, 11th. Pac-Man in 10th. Tetris, which is in 9th.
Yeah.
Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus was in 8th.
They're different games.
Pokemon Red. I mean, the funny thing is, you're going to get even more annoyed when I mention this. Pokemon Red /Green/Blue/Yellow, 47 million copies.
They chose yellow as well.
Yellow's in there as well. Super Mario Bros. The first one, 48 million. This is the one I didn't know. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, 60 million.
Not free.
It's not free. There we are. So it's not free. That was number 5.
Oh, is that weird? Not weird, but the Korean first-person shooter, something X. Is that there? Crossfire.
No, so in 4th place is Wii Sports, which you got. In 3rd place is Tetris on the mobile. In 2nd place is Grand Theft Auto 5, and in 1st place with 200 million copies sold,
Oh, what is this?
it is Minecraft.
200 million.
Best-selling game of all time.
Yeah. Should have thought of that one straight off the box.
Yeah.
Literally every.
To be fair, I think you got most of them. I think the only ones you didn't get was Pac-Man, Wii Fit, and Player. Okay, so you didn't get 4.
Pac-Man is on all these lists. It's incredible.
It is incredible, but then it hasn't been
come on,
selling
Batman.
since like the 80s, 70s. But then again, on a console, it'd be different, wouldn't it?
I used to be obsessed with Pac-Man. I had like all the different memorabilia, like pins, badges, and like sweatbands of like all
Nice.
the different ghosts: Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde. Clyde.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
but
a bag.
do you know, it's weird. I'm going to try and keep doing these quizzes. It's becoming harder now because I'm trying to think of topics that I can do. So if you do have any topics that I can do to challenge the guys quiz-wise, then let me know. And I'll give them a fun quiz. I'm trying to think of something for next week now. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. But that is the end of podcast number 11. Thank you very much for listening today. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go over to our Patreon page. Subscribe, like, do all those types of things. Comment, follow Dav on Twitch. Follow Video Games Ahoy on Twitch. Tell your friends. And yeah, that would mean the world to us. Daf Gape, are you streaming this coming Sunday? Normally Sunday, isn't it?
Well, normally a few days a week, but I'll be doing a variety of things this following week. You've got a bit of Crash to look forward to, probably a bit of Warzone and Modern Warfare in general to look forward to, and also a bit of Link's Awakening.
Amazing. Oh, man.
So if you want to check out the schedule, head over to twitch.tv/Video Games Ahoy. Underneath, you'll see schedule. Click on that. It'll tell you what's being played when. And
who knows? Maybe at some point this week, we'll get some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or some Overcooked. Which I definitely would be down for. That sounds like such... It just... I so many times I played that game, just ended up screaming with laughter, but like screaming, I need this cooked, get me a burger. But yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much again for listening. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you soon. This is Video Games Ahoy, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.